Hey everyone, Retire on Dividends here. It's time to give my month-end update. So at the end of each month, what I do is I make a video of where I stand as far as dividend, aka distribution income, plus options premium. I show all of the holdings that I currently have, how much I made with them, how I'm doing with them, the holdings I sold. And then I show how I'm doing overall, based on my goals and if I achieved the monthly goal or not. So anyway, let's get to it. So the tab shows 11/2. I was going to make it this Saturday. Obviously, took off work today. I was supposed to get this done before 3. That did not happen. So sorry for that. So this will be obviously launched tonight on the Friday. But anyway, so and we'll start with AMZ. AMZ's at the top. What I do is, we can go through each column, at least for AMZ. But obviously AMZ is a YieldMax fund. And then I have the classification, which I said I was going to get rid of and I didn't. But I'll get rid of it probably next month. And then I have margin maintenance. And I find this important because I do have margin activated. I may or may not use it, as frequent as some, but it's still important to me that I don't have any funds that are 100% margin maintenance. So that's why I do include that column. So as of the close of the month, I own 300 shares of AMZ. My cost basis is $21.05. And as of October 31st close, which is the end of the month, it was at 1866. Today, obviously, I think it did much better after earnings, but whatever, it's all good. So allocation-wise, they're 8.92% of my portfolio, and capital gains alone, I'm down $717. But for this month, they did pay me $213.70, and that ends up being a yield on cost, which actually I need to multiply that by 13 now. See, I always make updates during the video. Didn't even think about this before. Because all the YieldMax funds, they pay 13 times a year now versus the 12 that we're used to, right? So NVIDIA will get that. Netflix, it'll help the yield on cost. Phoebe. Yes, Ulti's part of that too. SPY is not, and FEPI is not. So my yield on cost on AMZ is 43%, which, that's above my 40% goal, so that's good. My total updated distributions is, for AMZ, they paid me $2,211. So I'm, as far as house money, I'm not really close. They paid me 35% of my original investment, but I keep adding to it, so that's why it changes. But overall total return, this includes distribution, plus or minus the capital appreciation, obviously. The total return, I am up 23%, so not too bad. NVIDIA, obviously, I'm always doing good with this fund. They've been staying up, kind of. I own 200 shares of NVIDIA. My cost basis is $21.56. The current trade price is $24.86. So as far as capital gains, I'm up, but they are 7.93% of my current allocation. I'm up $660. They paid me $219 this past month, which is a yield on cost of 66%, which is pretty good. Total updated distributions, they have paid me $3,936 since I bought into it. As far as house money, I'm almost at 100%. I'm at 91%, which is pretty damn good. Total return, they have paid me $4,596. This is capital plus distributions. Total return percentage, I'm up 106%. So that's NVIDIA. All right, so I'll try to go faster for the others, but I also own Netflix, as many of you know. I have 280 shares. They are 7.93% of my portfolio. I'm down 42 on capital. They paid me $214.08 this month with a yield on cost of 55%, which is pretty good. As far as house money, they have paid me 42% of my original investment, which is not bad. And my total return on them is 41%, positive, obviously. All right, Phoebe, their margin maintenance is the best. They're 30% margin maintenance because the lower the better, right? I have 250 shares of Phoebe. Cost basis is a little higher than the trade price, but my current allocation is 7.71%. And capital gain wise, I'm down $122, but my yield on cost is 53% because they did pay me $203 this past month. Total distributions, they paid me $890, so I'm at 17% house money. That's not really that much, but total return, I'm doing pretty good. I'm up 15%. All right, Coney, I decided to get rid of. I sold them this month, so I'll go right to the bottom and show you. So I had 190 shares, and what happened was I said I'm going to wait for the distribution, and then after that, I'll sell if I'm up. And then I was up. My cost basis was $14.28. I sold at $14.38, so I made $19 on capital gains. And with dividends of $324, I made a profit of 12.7% holding Coney. The reason I sold out is I just don't want any part of that volatility anymore. I'm trying to have a, minimal, it's an individual stock, right? Individual covered call ETF, obviously. So if I'm going to have risk, my risk is going to be in this next ticker here, and that's ULTI, all right? Because ULTI, as we all know, they have a new prospectus and they changed a lot of things, hopefully for the better. We got to give them some time. We'll see how it plays out, but I have 520 shares on them. Somehow their margin maintenance is 30%. Don't ask me how, but my cost basis is not the best on them, 12.17 versus the 9.90 trade price, which again, as of 10/31. What else? Current allocation for ULTI, 8.21% total, but I'm down in capital of 1,180. They paid me $413 this month, which is a yield on cost of 84%, which is pretty good. Updated total distributions, 1,402. So far, they paid me 22% of my original investment, and overall total return, I'm up 3.51%. Yeah, so not obviously great numbers, but again, my cost basis is not the best on ULTI. I still own SPY, believe it or not. They do not pay a great yield, but I just love the fun, and it's really hard for me to sell. But I will sell when I need to, and I'll explain that in a second. But my cost basis on SPY, I own 70 shares at $47.70, and they're currently worth $50.69. Again, this is as of the close 10/31. My allocation on them, they're 5.66% of my portfolio. Capital gains, $209.30, so I'm up on that. They did pay me $36 this month, which I know that's a joke, but yield on cost, 13%. Updated total distributions, $499, house money, 14%, and total return, I'm up 21%. So yeah, they don't really fit into my portfolio, which is an aggressive ask of 40% yield. However, my others are doing so well that they're able to lift that yield up. But they are probably the next to go, unfortunately, because I do love it. It's great in a safe retirement account, but it's just not, I asked for a lot in this account, right? This is the Retire Now account. I need high-ass yields, all right? FEPI, you barely make the cut. So FEPI, I own 110 shares, cost basis $54.73. They're currently worth $50. They're 8.81% of my total total account. Capital gains, I'm down $491, unfortunately. Monthly distributions, they paid me $118. Yield on cost, 23%. Again, not the best. Updated total distributions, $917 is how much they paid me. So I'm at 15% house money. And total return, I'm up 7.06%. So that's actually all of the funds, all of the options ETFs that I own. I sold so many that I'm only down to 8 now. What am I doing with the rest of it? I'm doing options, all right? I do options on TSLL, TNA, BitX, and SOXL. I don't always do that on all of them at the same time, but I do them periodically. So as far as the close of the end of the month, I do own 700 shares of TSLL, okay? I own them with a cost basis of $10.85. TSLL was $11.86 as of the close, so they're 13% of my total portfolio. Capital gains, I'm up 707, which again, it doesn't matter because I'm going to sell calls on them. But overall, for monthly distributions for options, I made $2,518, which again, That's way more than, you know, what I had expected for the month. So really, really good month for options. So now the overall total, if we go through the bottom numbers here, again, on the very bottom, we show Coney and how much we made there. Again, I sold Coney. So total value of the account, $62,734.92. Capital gains, I am down $977.30. Monthly distributions. So for the month of October, this includes options and distributions, $4,136.85. Updated total distributions, again, since I've been tracking this, $12,294.75. Obviously, this does not show the funds I sold out of, so it's kind of an irrelevant mention there. Total return, I'm up $10,610.45. Okay, so again, back to the monthly distribution and the current investment value. I carry those values over to the summary tab to see if I met my goal. So I have a summary tab. Let me zoom in. And I have goals, all right? First off, for the month of October, my capital goal was $63,028.67. I actually came pretty close, right? Because if you look last month, I was very far away, right? Last month was 60,000 and I made 58,000. However, this month was 63,000 and I almost hit that, right? In fact, I did hit it, but it came back down, unfortunately. So again, as of the close on October 31st, I was at $62,734.92, 0.47% away from the capital. Again, the much better, if you look at these numbers, I was so far away the past couple months, and it's you know, it was a really good month. Now, look at this. The estimate that was expected for the distribution, I was expected to receive $3,001. I killed that number. I got 4,100. Is that right? 4,136. I just want to make sure. Yes, 4,136.85. So obviously much more than last month, much more than the goal, and a really good number. So if I take the 4,136, right, and I multiply it by 12, and I divide it by how much is in my account, I am getting a yield of 79%. My yield goal, again, since I'm using margin, I've raised it from 40 to 60%. So my new goal is 60% yield. I yielded 79%. And honestly, that's mostly thanks to options. Obviously, some of the high yielders, you know, help out NVIDIA, Ulti, you know, those funds. But really, options has taken over my account. And, you know, back to the point of when I'm going to sell SPY-I, I'm going to sell SPY-I when I need to. Right now, whatever's left in my account, it's basically sitting there just making me money, right? If I see any of these to be a danger, what I'll do is I'll get rid of them and I'll sell them out. But again, I'm trading options on 4 different funds. If I run out of money and I need the money, then I will sell one of these funds. The next on the chopping block is probably SPY-I, unfortunately. It's a great fund, but again, my yield on cost, what was my yield on cost? 13%. I mean, what's the point? I could beat that easily doing options. So there's no purpose for it, honestly. I mean, FEPI, I love FEPI too, but again, this is not the safe yielding account that it used to be. It's a more aggressive of goals. We have more aggressive goals here. So unfortunately, I have to put, you know, certain ones next on the chopping block. But again, I'm not going to sell any of these unless I have to. Right now, I don't have to. I have plenty of cash to play options with. So my 60% goal seems very attainable. I started last month. I hit 70. This month, I hit 79, right? So it seems very doable. What the problem is the capital, right? I almost hit the capital, and I think I have a chance, right? I have a chance to actually stay capital flat. And the reason is I'm doing more options, right? Because the way I do options, I do not lose capital. In fact, I only gain capital. It's either I stay capital flat or I gain capital. So between that plus the options premium I'm getting, you know, it turns out that I'm doing really good. And I'll do an updated options video tomorrow on Saturday. And you'll see I had a really, really I had a really good week and a really, really good month. But yeah, I'm loving it, man. So just so you guys know, I started this and I started tracking in September. My account was worth $41,000. You know, I've come a long way. I first made $1,200. You know, at that point in time, I think I was adding $1,000 into the account each month, and then I stopped in 2024. My wife had left her job at that point, so I was not able to contribute. So, you know, this whole time, keep in mind, I'm not putting any new money in. I'm just making money off of the money that's there, and it is doing rather well. And it's between the great funds, you know, that I chose for the YieldMax, obviously, and some of the other funds, right? So you got to pick and choose wisely. But at the same time, again, I'm not going to do all of my cash in options because that'll be a lot of cash sitting there on the sideline. So why have it sit on the sideline instead of just actually making money, right? But if it gets to that point where I have to use all of it, it's going to happen. So I don't really care. But I'm not going to fall in love with any one fund. If I'd rather, you know, do trade options myself, do what I can, earn as much yield as I can, and, you know, we'll see. All right, so as you can see here, the next goal for next month is 3,151. So based on what I made this month, that should be pretty easy to hit. And then 3,300 and then 3,400. So that's the easy part. The hard part is keeping the capital. So we'll see what we could do. So anyway, so when am I actually going to make enough to retire? That my son's knocking on the garage window, but so that question obviously is always looming. So if I assume that I can hit the, let me zoom out so you can see the columns. If I assume that I can hit the estimate income over and over again, you could see, okay, when do I hit 10,000 a month? In December of 2026. Obviously, I'll hit that probably much sooner based on the income that I am getting. So I may have to update my yield goal. Right now it's 60%, but should I make it 80%? Or is that nuts? Maybe 70%? But right now, again, this is all triggering, right? If you go to the field, let's go to B4, which is the 60%. And I think I could do much better than 60%. I know people say that's crazy, but I mean, it's happening. So options is an amazing thing. So again, using the 60% though, okay, 50,000 a month, that will be in 5 years. So 5 years, if I can make 50,000 a month, yeah, that's $1 million in capital, and you can make 50,000 a month. I mean, could you imagine? Could you imagine? I mean, I can. That'll be freaking awesome. So hell yeah, I'll be retired well before then though. I don't need $1 million to retire on. I could, again, when I get to what, 20,000 a month maybe, that shows January 28th, but I think I can get there much sooner. I don't know. I might not change the goal, the yield with margin yield until the next month. But as you can see, I did 70% last month. I did 79% this month. We have the election coming up this next week. We'll see how that goes and with the market. So maybe I'll have a shitty month. You never know. But things have been going good. I'm playing both sides. I'm playing so if the market goes down, I can make money. And I'm playing so if the market goes up, I can make money. Again, that's when I do options trading. So, so yeah, that's the update on my Retire Now account. Again, this isn't a taxable account. So I do have to pay taxes on all this options premium. I have to pay taxes on some of the distribution. Again, some of it's return of capital. So that part, I don't have to pay taxes typically. But some of it probably is not. So again, that's something to keep an eye out for. But we'll see how it goes. But again, just a solid month. I'm very happy with the numbers. And I'm always trying to beat the last month. So as long as I could beat the last month, I really think the goal of retirement is coming much sooner than later. But anyway, the finalized numbers for the month of October, I made $4,136.85. Again, this is in the Retire Now account. And my current portfolio balance is $734.92. So hopefully we can hit 100K soon. Man, I'll be pumped for that. And then we could keep doing options, more and more options, making more and more money. But yeah, I have a question. Let me know in the comments down below, what yield do you guys use? Like when you're tracking like your future estimated income, are you using 40%, 60%? Are you using something higher, or are you more conservative than that and just doing something like even lower? But I feel like I could easily beat 60%, you know, myself. Because most of my options trades, to be honest, the annualized yield is over 100%. I just don't use all the money when I trade options. So that kind of gets cut in half, almost like to the 50% range. You know, if it's 100% even, obviously cut it in half to 50. But if it's 200%, cut it in half, then it's still 100%. So not sure if you know what I'm talking about. But like I said, just a really good month, and I hope to share, you know, as much good news as I had this month with future months. So again, we got Christmas coming up, November, December coming up. Hopefully we can get big months, and then we can start 2025. You know, possibly again update the goals and hopefully retire sooner than we expect. So yeah, let me know down below how you guys did for the month. Also, let me know what's your goal yield each month. How much do you strive for with your current balance? And yeah, if it's less than 60 or less than 40, then why? Are you not trading options, or are you just keeping it safe? But either way, let me know. Anyway, guys, that was the update to my Retire Now account. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, none of this is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, I will try again next month. Again, I make this video once per month. At the end of the month, obviously, and then I just, you know, go from there. I show all my changes and whatnot, but let me know if I'm missing something. If you want me to add anything, we can do that for next time. So obviously I started the new tab for next month. The next update will be on 11/30. Now that I got rid of Coney, I'm down to 7 funds. So we'll see how it goes. All right. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. If you enjoyed this content, please hit the like button. It does go a long way. If you have any questions or concerns, leave them down in the comments below. All right? I'm out of here. I hope you guys have a great night or day or whenever you're watching this, and I'll talk to you later.